A group of scientists from the United Kingdom, who were interviewed by Rodrigo Gonzalez, director of the magazine Apiculture Without Borders, have determined the best way to control varroa mites, one of the biggest threats to bees, without causing damage to them. The laboratory team has analyzed the dose and the most convenient method to treat beehives with oxalic acid, a natural element that is present in nature and is the most used by beekeepers to treat this mite. With this research, they have shown that 2 of the 3 methods usually used by beekeepers to treat varroa, using oxalic acid, causes damage to honeybees, which causes their lower survival over the winter. This sublimation method is much easier to use and causes greater mortality in varroa mites, killing 97% of them with a single application, and with lower doses than the other 2 methods. Therefore, this is the best method to treat varroa. However, one of the methods with oxalic acid, the method that uses sublimation to spread said product by vaporizing it in the hive, using a small electric radiator, does not have harmful effects on the beehive. Colonies treated in this way had 20% more honey-producing bees after 4 months than hives not treated with this method. Detailed information on how to perform oxalic acid vaporization treatment depends mainly on the type of sublimator used. It is very important to scrupulously follow the instructions in the respective user manuals to achieve maximum effectiveness, without endangering the health of the bees and the operator himself. What is it and why treat varroa with oxalic acid? It is an organic chemical compound that is present in nature in fruits, in some plants, and even honey contains small amounts of this acid. It is organic, leaves no residue and behaves as a contact acaricide. Oxalic acid has a high dissociation constant, which makes it more acidifying than citric, acetic or lactic acid. Any of them can also be used to control varroa, but oxalic acid will always work better. Many experts recommend the use of oxalic acid in a sublimation way because it does not leave a residue and is more effective, although it may take longer to go to the apiary. This process consists of the change of state from solid to gaseous state, without going through the liquid state. Oxalic acid begins to sublime at 157 degrees and finally, at 190 degrees. Any oxalic acid that has not yet sublimed initially decomposes into formic acid and carbon dioxide, and then into CO2, carbon monoxide and water. Applied through a spout, the vapor gas rises inside the hive, covering its entire interior with tiny crystals. To be more effective, all the vents in the hive must be covered, so that the vapors remain inside. The effect that is achieved is that the varroa acidifies and dies, since its skin cannot withstand the abrasion. On the other hand, the bee, in its proper dose, tolerates it very well. To apply it, the typical dose in a sublimator is usually 2 to 3 grams of oxalic acid per hive. To properly analyze which sublimator is better, we will take into account the following factors. Temperature. Let us remember that it is essential to know at what temperature the device is operating at all times, as it is not advisable to work above 190 degrees. Dose. An excess dose in sublimation can cause negative effects on bees. It is vitally important to sublimate just the necessary amount, never more, as we would cause greater harm. Time. If we have few hives to treat, the time factor does not pose a problem. But for large farms it is a relevant aspect. You need a machine that you can work with comfortably and quickly. Controlling varroa with oxalic acid and using the sublimation method is capable of killing 99% of the varroa in the hive. However, the current problem is that varroa is becoming resistant to these treatments. In addition, the varroa eggs that are inside the cells, where the bee pupae are are not killed with this oxalic acid treatment. One more video of beekeeping without borders for beekeepers around the world.